Well, something on here that we like to do, and we love the wrestling, we love it, but we really want to get behind the person. We feel like we want people to relate and kind of know you personally. So, my question would be, after a long kind of day of wrestling and being in the promoter head, what do you kind of do to distress, to get away, to kind of disconnect, and just tell us a little bit more about you outside of the wrestling business. We got the Rabbi stuff, which is
Yeah.
amazing. Talk to us a little bit more about like what you like to do, and again, what you kind of like to disconnect, how you kind of disconnect from wrestling.
Well, most wrestling is my disconnection, in fairness. But I'm not. Mondays are my wrestling day. I spend most of my Mondays doing wrestling, cleaning up, booking the next show, working on venue, whatever details need to be.
Yeah.
Usually after a show, I don't think this is because I need to de-stress. I think this is because I'm 44 and old. Is
No.
Yeah, my body is old. My brain is 20. So I usually try to get some sort of massage, even if it's like going to one of those places like a massage chair, just to like
Ooh.
stretch out my body.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I love spending time with my kids and my wife. I have an amazing group of guy friends who I spend a good amount of time with, and I'm blessed to have some really deep buddies who, we joke about like, when we get really old, we're all buying a row in the old age home together. Cause like, we don't really, the wives can go wherever they want. We're hanging out. Like, that's what we know. I watch a lot of comedy. I had a lot of, I would say a lot of like past lives hobbies. So I have the longest running Jewish sports blog that's a joke from Airplane, but also a real thing, which also allowed me to like cover the Super Bowl, and I got to cover the Final Four, and I got to cover NBA and WNBA, and I serve as like the team rabbi occasionally and do some stuff with Team Israel baseball Olympic team. So that's kind of cool. So I've been to 3 stadiums already this summer. So I'm trying to get to every Major League Baseball stadium. I'm a couple short. I'm like 6 short, I think, 7 short.
Rogers Center? Center?
In Toronto? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I've been to Toronto.
Okay.
I'm missing Houston, San Francisco, Anaheim, Oakland / Vegas. New Mariners, New Atlanta, and Detroit's the only one on this side. Then everywhere else I've been, New Old Yankee. I'm trying to now get to the presidential libraries. I love them. I've been to like 6 of those. So that's kind of cool. I'd like to spend a lot of time in Miami if I can. It's like a home away from home for me.
Nice.
So I had a podcast that did, I think, fairly well for a while. It's a sad story, but my last interview was with Bob Saget, and then he died. And Bob and I became friendly. And he was like, he's my favorite comedian. So I was like, I don't fanboy about any wrestlers, but
you have to fanboy about Bob Saget.
My God. And he was
Bob
nice.
Saget. AFC never has been the same ever since Bob Saget went away.
Yes, agree. So he was as kind as could be. He let me into his world a little bit. I was recently sort of I advised on it, and that I'm sort of in it, a Batman comic. So I have some Marvel and comic book.
There's Walter going crazy.
And Walter, get the first night of Bat / Man by Dan Jurgens. Dan's a buddy of mine.
I got a comic store like 20 minutes from here. I am a Batman DC nerd, so the fact that you just did that.
Yeah,
made me go crazy.
The family, there's a rabbi in it. Batman meets a rabbi during like the late 30s, as the Holocaust was starting. And the rabbi isn't, as Dan said, I was like, is the rabbi me? He said, it's not you. So I said, I will happily advise on this comic as long as I can call myself the rabbinic authority to Gotham City. He said, deal. So,
that's awesome.
But the other family is named the Fines, which is obviously my name. So I like to do little things like that. I love business, and human nature. I mean, that's really my podcast calls The Religion of Human Nature. I had a couple wrestlers on it randomly. I had Jim Brunzell and Zach Allen, and like I think ultimately what I love most is like meeting people. Like I think this is what makes the world better. I think what's going on in the world and the hardships we're feeling is that we are not socializing. We are not getting to know the person, and I think that's really hard. As if I'm being honest, and maybe we're getting a little heavy, but as a Jewish person right now, I think other minorities certainly feel. There you go. That's the Adam West.
Oh, here we go. Walter's pulling all the stuff out.
I'm telling you how much of a nerd I am.
It's
all over my room.
I love it, man. Now you're gonna be like, I know that guy.
There you go.
So like building bridges and connections means the most thing in the world to me. I think, I'll be a little. This will be maybe too deep, but since the war in Israel started, some of became pretty close with a Palestinian guy and an Iranian guy, and we've talked about like how the world talks about us without knowing us, and how difficult that is, right? Like, not one of my friends and loved ones in Israel want war. They don't want that. They want peace. And my Palestinian friend just wants peace. And like, it's really hard to watch those kinds of things. So you got to keep building bridges. And even though there's been some hard times in wrestling because of whether I've seen anti-Semitic stuff or things like that, or racism of any sort, bigotry of any sort, I feel if I ever left, there'd be who would replace me, right? Like who would come in and fill the void of people like understanding that like, no, this is about coming together and building community and doing something really special. We have guys in our locker room who are, as far left on the political spectrum as can be, and make that well known on whatever platform. And we have guys who, no doubt in my mind, voted for Trump, as did their whole family. And like, we still make a show work. We can all work together. We can all figure this out, just because like, just treat people with respect, love your neighbor, and be kind and open your heart to meeting new people. And thankfully, wrestling is that. Now, there's some wrestling who's obsessed with cancelization, and I wish that would leave, me personally. I'm not talking about like canceling really bad people, like people who, not because you think they're bad, but people they are really
They've been
bad.
proven
people.
to be bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Not and right. Yes, exactly. Like, there's people who should not be back in wrestling, but they should, but I wouldn't harass them. Like, there's people who harass some of these people who were kicked out of wrestling. Like, they still deserve to live. Like, they're not in jail. So you may not like their behavior, but they didn't what they didn't. And so how do we're not embrace them in wrestling, but I shouldn't attack them if I see them, out trying to get a regular job, another job. Like, they're not going to be in this world famous and making money off fans buying tickets. That's fine. But so how do we have people who like sort of stand up and say like, I can love you even if we have differences? And I wish more people would talk and not just tweet. And I'm here for that.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well said, James. Follow that.
Follow that, buddy.
Yeah, really. I don't have much on that.
You have to go
but
after
I agree
Babe
with
Ruth
everything you
at
said.
the bat.
James, I'll tell you something. One of my
Really.
favorite movies is Moneyball. So
Ooh, that's a good movie.
There you go.
Oh, that's a great business movie. I just showed that to someone the other day. I showed him the scene where Billy Bean is talking to all the old guys around the table who are trying to replace Jason Giambi, and he's like, "You're asking the wrong questions," and he keeps going back. We're not replacing Jason Giambi, we're replacing his statistics and his on-base percentage, basically, and how everyone still thinks the same. And it's our job actually we should all be Billy Bean. Like, not everyone has the Dodgers money.
No.
You all got to play baseball.
Yeah.
No, 100%. I'm more of a Goodwill Hunting guy myself. That's the type of
Okay.
and,
That's a great movie.
and that's a good movie too, with,
Yes.
with a lot of life lessons. I